Hello there, everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So, as many of you have become aware, the channel was a little chaotic this week as some videos that were supposed to come out did not come out. It was a combination of the new job, which I've been doing for about 3 weeks now, the potential to get a new place, which I have secured and gotten. So those two things were taking up a lot of time. On top of that, when I had an opportunity to make my videos, I was having problems uploading because of the internet, which is part of the reason why I'm finding another place. But anyways, I got them all done, and then I couldn't upload them, so I had to wait, and then I got them uploaded when I had a chance to go somewhere else and upload them. So those three were the Monday night's look back at a classic rock album, which came out first, and then Tuesday night's ranking of the songs, which came out second, and then favorites, which came out third. All three of those came out fairly close to each other on, I believe, Wednesday. I can't remember exactly when, or maybe it was actually Thursday. It was probably Thursday. So the other two that I didn't get to do, which were What's New and ranking of the albums, the one that I put on with Ben, this will be round two. I didn't get to do those and release them, so I'm going to try to release them today. I've released the playlist, was able to do that one, so that will come out at 4 o'clock, and then the other two, I will try to get both of them in before midnight if I can. Depends on where I have to go. I have some other commitments as well, so I will try and squeeze them in somewhere along the route. So this one will come first, and then the ranking of the albums will come second. So today's album that I've chosen, I was originally going to do the Tangent's new album, but I decided I will wait on that one a bit and do this one, which was also in the works, and I was able to listen to it in its entirety, and I quite like it, so I think this is the one I've chosen to do for today's What's New. The group is called Cymbalic Encounters. The album, Afrika Mandalika. Okay, so excellent album, released April 15th, 2024, so not so long ago, maybe a month or so ago. About 55 minutes in length, pretty standard by modern times. Anywhere between 50 and 70 is pretty normal nowadays. Produced by Mark Murdoch, also a member of the band. Appearing on this are Mark Murdoch, on drums, synthesizers, and percussion. Fernando Perdomo, Fernando, for screwing up your name. It's Perdomo. I got the O and the U backwards here. On guitars for 6 of the tracks. Kenta Shimokuni on bass. Joe Berger on guitars. Tim Pepper on vocals. And Preston Murdoch on guitars. I assume that is a relative of Mark's. Maybe it's his son. I'm not sure. If anybody knows, they can leave the comments in the comment section below. On this album, I believe there are 9 tracks. Yes. Sorry. Got a bit of a cough, too, on top of all the other stuff. So, the album is pretty solid. I would classify it as progressive in its nature, having quite a bit of African sounds to the music. Lots of noise effects. That's something that's common with bands like Hawkwind, Eloy, and Pink Floyd. They do not sound like any of those particular bands, but however, they do use it. If I was to compare this to some other type of music, I would say it has a lot of Peter Gabriel flavor to it. It's world music-ish, if you want to say that, but it has enough progressive stuff. Also a little bit of that Paul Simon stuff going on here too, although the vocals aren't anything like Paul Simon. Coincidentally, the vocalist does have a little bit of a Peter Gabriel sound to his voice. Excellent sound. I don't think he's as strong a vocalist, but he definitely has that flavor to his sound. Also, album's pretty melodic. Most of the songs fall within a certain range. Slow, delivered in a melodic sense of the word. Also, very mellow. I would say it's a bit of a mellow album. Not overly mellow, but has a mellow flavor to it. Clear, pretty good production on the album. Lots of percussion. This is a percussion, somewhat percussion dominated album, I think. That's the main focus, I think. Vocals are somewhat narrative. So he sings, but it's kind of in a slow melodic way, almost like he's talking, but not quite there. There is a little bit more of a sing sound to it. Yeah, and he does have a kind of Gabriel sounding part to his voice as well. And the rhythms are strong here. So this is a strong rhythmatic kind of progressive sound to it as well. I actually quite like this album. If I can get it, I definitely will. I think it's one of those albums. I've talked to the guys at the place that I usually go to, and I've suggested that I have several albums that I would like to get, and they may be able to get them for me, and I'm hoping that they can. And this is one of those albums. Quite like this. So it has basically 9 tracks. I'm going to go over the tracks just fairly quickly, not going to go too great in depth with this because I've only listened to it once, so it's difficult to go into great in depthness if you haven't had several runs of listening to the album. So the first song on the album is called The Fire Merchants. Lots of trumpet on this, percussion dominated pretty much, and has that narrative type vocal sound to it. Very rhythmatic percussion as well. Not that percussion isn't rhythmatic, but there's a lot of rhythm to this this music. There's not necessarily, when I use the word percussion, I'm not necessarily referring to drums. In this case, I'm not at all. I think it's just very interesting sounds that they like to use. The next track up is called Rains of Wambia, or Wyamba, sorry. It's got that rain effect, and you're getting those synthetic kind of created sounds, giving this feeling that you're in the out in nature. It's a very natural feeling type of song. Lots of percussion again. The vocals are somewhat harmonic here. I would. This is where I first start noticing that it's kind of world-like. It's got that world-like music flavor to it. Very mellow, almost Gabriel-like effect to it as well. The next song up is one of my favorite on the album. It's called Black Magic. African sounds mixed with a lot of up-tempo world sounds. So you got those kind of chanting type African sounds mixed in with this kind of world synthesizer sound as well. Vocals are clear, again, Gabriel-like. Percussion is dominant again. The guitar solo, which is good, is very slow, very melodic. David Gilmour, slow, but doesn't really sound like Gilmour at all. It's very mellow. It's a very mellow guitar solo. Sacred Trees, the vocals are good, clear. The narrative talk is really strong here. Some trumpet, heavy rhythms here. Lots of heavy rhythms on this track. The drums and the percussions towards the end are a little bit dominant as well. Another good song on the album. Shadows from the Past, another good song. So you get 3 or 4 good ones in a row here. Has that cricket jungle sound going on. A little bit of lions roaring here. Keyboards and the marimba and the synthesizer effect all together, creating that atmosphere. It's a very African sounding track, this one. Definitely more moderate on the vocals, so a little less dominating on the vocals than it was in the previous 3 tracks. The next, or 4 tracks, I guess. The next song out is called Festivals of Miracles. This is an instrumental. low-key, kind of jazzy feel to some of the songs, at least to the guitar part anyways. It's got a steady rhythm with a lot of backing vocal sounds to it. I didn't like this track actually quite as much as the previous ones, but it wasn't bad. The next track I forgot to rate, but it's the longest track on the album. It's called Voodoo's Supermarket. Percussion and marimba that open this song, really cool. It's clear and melodic, and just kind of lengthy sounds, very similar to most of the other tracks, but longer, more involved, more detailed. But a pretty good song. I would say this is one of their better songs on the album as well. I'm going to flip because I got the last two on the back side here. Usually I use a whiteboard, but I don't have any markers that I think are good enough anymore. I need to get some new ones. Windows and Skies, that's the next track. I did like this one, but it's one of the weaker tracks on the album. Another percussion. African percussion music sound here going on. More mellow vocals here. The percussion and the trumpet and the piano parts are all pretty good, pretty solid, well within the framework of the song. So you don't get anything. So the basic feel for the song is kind of a mellow song, and you do get piano, percussion, and trumpet here, but they're kept at a low key to fit well within the framework of the song, as opposed to being overshooting and dominating, which they're not. Okay. The last track on the album, Surrounding Shadows, final track, a bit of an upbeat, mellow rhythm, if that makes any sense. It's mellow, quiet, but it's upbeat at the same time. I'm trying to think of a way to describe it so that they're not, to me those are conflicting things, mellow and upbeat. So okay, it's basically a feel good but mellow song. I guess that's the best way to put it. Lots of percussion, lots of synthesizers on this particular track, and the vocals once again very mellow, very kind of Gabriel-ish. He's got a Gabriel sound to his voice, but he's just keeping it in a lower key and not as dominating. Not as powerful of a voice, but very clear sounding. So if I think this is one of the better albums that I've done for What's New. I think it's an album that definitely needs to be explored. It's one of the several new albums that I've listened to in recent months that I would like to get. It'll depend on how much, of course, so I gotta pick my spots here. So, but I think this is definitely one of the ones I would like to have. And very soon, probably at the end of June, I will also be doing a rank the first half of the year. I will rank the albums that my top 10 favorite of the first half of the year. For me, some of them are an absolute shoe-in. Others are kind of close to the line, which ones I might choose. So we'll do a top 10 halfway through, and then we'll finish at the end of the year. We'll do a top 20 of the best albums of the year. So anyways, there you have it. That's what's happening for What's New this week. The album again. Sorry, gotta turn this over. The album again, Afrika Mandalika. Yeah, I think maybe I'm spelling that wrong as well. The band, Cymbalic Encounters. Definitely worth listening to. Easy enough to find. You can find this on Prog Archives. You can find this by just simply punching in Cymbalic Encounters, which will be in my title when you see it, if you feel like listening to this first. But if you like that mellow feel, like this, to me, I have several types of music. When I'm cleaning, I like heavier stuff and more rocky stuff that give me energy. And then when I'm reading, I like some background stuff that is there and keeping me occupied but not dominating. And this definitely will fit into that category quite well. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of What's New. I do apologize for the lateness of all this stuff coming out. I'm hoping once I get into the new place, I can set everything up and keep everything on its target time and dates. I do apologize again. I hope you will enjoy this video. If you do, please hit the like and subscribe. It's much appreciated. Any comments about the album or any albums that you think are new this year that you haven't heard me mention that you would like me to maybe review or maybe talk about or bring up on this show or on another show, you can do that also in the comment section. So, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. We will be back regularly scheduled if I can this week. I'm also currently working a little bit on the mini series, although it stalled it a bit because of this week, but we're going to get back at it, and we will see you very soon. So take care and have a good day.